Since the morning, I think we've been talking a lot about products, uh, and they've been very enlightening. I got to learn so many things about SIFs, and I'm sure it would have been equally useful to you. Uh, what we are going to do now is to talk about the conversation which is taking place between advisors and their clients. What are they saying? What are the advisors saying? How are the clients responding? And what is their response overall? So this part of the day today is going to focus on client conversations at work. So I wanted to ask Gajendra, the first time you brought up this topic of SIF to the first client that you spoke to or prospect you spoke to, what was their response?
So Prem, thank you for having me. So frankly speaking, we have not even yet spoken about SIFs to our clients because it's very important for us to first get comfort ourselves with the product and then only take it to a client. I've always strongly believed in the philosophy of skin in the game, which Radhika or I think Sandeep also mentioned. First, you buy for yourself, experience it, and then you will understand it in more deeper way, and then you take it to your clients depending on their pros and cons. So we're still waiting and watching right now, Prem. It's been 6-8 months. We don't want to rush in. See, this is not like a magical pill you take today and you'll become more richer tomorrow or it'll beat. So I think you should go more gradually. So maybe we will first in this financial year we'll try and invest our own money in three categories, all three: equity, hybrid, debt also. Then watch it for 6 months, understand it in more deeper. Because once you put in your own money, you will be more, going more detailed in the strategies, and then you will have some experiences. Then with that right experience, take the product to the clients.
But have you started investing?
Not yet, not yet. Maybe somewhere in next 1-2 months.
Then let me ask you something. You meet your clients quite often. I know you meet them directly. Have your clients started asking you about SIF?
Not yet. Not yet.
So you think the message still hasn't gone across to clients for them to be interested enough to ask you about SIFs?
Yeah. So luckily, the way we have positioned our business, 99% clients actually don't ask for products.
Okay.
Which is very different when I talk to other distributors.
Okay.
20 clients are asking and they want it, and then I think the business model is not done the right way, because patients never ask doctors that this is a medicine I want to take.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Doctors prescribe something and patients happily do that.
Okay.
We believe in that model.
Okay. You're very lucky, because a lot of distributors have a lot of clients telling them what to do. And anyway, so Vishrant, I know you run a B2B2C and a B2C model. Am I right?
That's right.
Okay.
Predominantly B2B2C, but I was an MFD myself and continue to handmake.
Okay. So what was your first conversation with the client about SIFs?
Sure, Prem. So I'll have a bit of a different view from what Mr. Gajendra said, probably because of the difference in the client profile. So I'm 32, and a lot of my clients who I've been managing money for are in the 28 to 32 range.
Okay.
In this segment, what I've observed is they tend to be early adopters of products. Actually, a large part of the customers at their early age, if they have earned well, they're already on track to hit a lot of their financial goals. So they happen to have this surplus, that eagerness to play around with something new, that experimentation is quite a bit existing in certain set of these customers. So these customers have either themselves brought up, hey, what's happening in terms of SIF, or there's a lot of good buzz being created and so forth. What I have observed in the conversations is, number one, there's definitely one level of excitement, because they tend to see that it's among the first times they have access to very advanced strategies, and the name derivatives are that brings a certain level of glitz to the product itself, and it's regulated. The ticket size is accessible for a good number of investors. So there is good amount of excitement about, hey, something is coming up. But two things I see is, number one, the complexity of the strategies is something people take a little bit of time to understand. So they know that derivatives means futures and options, but maybe what is a covered call, what is a protected put, how is it actually going to help, how will it play out. So these are all quite a bit of questions that people wish to understand before wanting to take a bet. That apart, we are also able to see, even if there's a certain level of confidence in, let me test this product out because I really have a surplus in my portfolio which I want to experiment with. Even then, the portion of allocation tends to be a very minimal amount, maybe just 10 lakhs to begin with, because the track record has not played out, right? Because similar to any other new product, it will require a certain amount of time for the confidence to set in. So I do feel good amount of awareness on what are derivatives, bit more in-depth discussions around those, what are the kind of strategies and what can be a very good expectation that customers can have before they enter this product is something that as the industry creates, more and more customers will want to adopt.
Okay. So, Komal, as a manufacturer now, so what gaps did you identify in the investor portfolio and how are you seeking to address these gaps?
Sure.
You started off with a bang, you started off with a few mutual fund products, and now you're looking at other products. Why?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me and thank you for the question. See, let me attempt by answering it in a very different way. Whenever we look at a product or a product category, the primary way of looking at it should be that what purpose does it serve in a client's portfolio? First, identify are there any missing gaps in a client portfolio? And inherently, what we are seeing is that while everyone in this room starts every client conversation by saying asset allocation is the biggest alpha generator, but what are the underlying building blocks through which we are doing asset allocation? Most of the last few years, we have seen, a large part of the last few years, we have seen a very favorable market cycle for us, which has led that client portfolios are majority skewed towards equity and long only equity. तो फिर एसेट एलोकेशन कैसे होगा? और डेट को क्या हुआ? डेट को इक्विटी टैक्सेशन ने अनफेवरेबल बना दिया. सो इन बिटवीन देयर वाज अ गैप दैट गॉट क्रिएटेड. एक गैप क्रिएट हो गया कि मेरे को एसेट एलोकेशन के लिए कोई ऐसा स्ट्रैटेजी चाहिए विच इज़ अ अनकोरिलेटेड स्ट्रैटेजी दैट डज नॉट बिहेव एवरी टाइम द वे एन इक्विटी फंड वुड. And this is where SIF as a category started making feet for itself, that a category that investment के दो R होते हैं, है ना? एक risk और एक return. रिटर्न की बात बहुत हुई, बट इंक्रीजिंगली अब कस्टमर जब इवॉल्व हो रहा है, इंडिया में वेल्थ ग्रो हो रही है, कस्टमर्स के पोर्टफोलियो ग्रो हो रहे हैं, तो रिस्क की अवेयरनेस भी आ रही है. In that entire space, SIF fills a gap that they can offer you products which give you an uncorrelated experience to what you already have. And second, it can give you exposure to many asset classes that are independently being bought in a very tax inefficient manner. And I'll give you a few examples here. Of late, REITs is a great asset class to invest in. Unitize कर दिया हमने real estate को. पहले real estate का मतलब होता था कि आप घर लेंगे 1 करोड़ का, 5 करोड़ का. बॉम्बे में तो अपसाइड लिमिट ही नहीं है उसका. बट उसको यूनिटाइज करके रिटेलाइज सैशे बना दिया कि रीट्स इनविट्स होना चाहिए. फिर उसके बाद हमारे पास और इवॉल्व एसेट क्लासेस आ रही हैं, जैसे मर्जर आर्बिट्राज. आई थिंक राधिका स्पोक अबाउट इट, संदीप स्पोक अबाउट इट. IPO flips. These are many ways of generating alpha, and independently, either for a retail customer they are not available, or if they are available, they are not available in a tax efficient manner. The second purpose that SIFs fulfill for you, other than the absolute return, is to make you available all these asset classes wrapped in a very tax efficient manner. And that's why we believe that these products are something that we all should look at as a complementing strategy. We definitely don't recommend it to be a core strategy. There is a core and there's a satellite. But people should look at something that can complement and can be looked at something which is over and above what a mutual fund portfolio should.
Great. Gajendra, you've been listening to all the speakers since morning. What are the thoughts which are coming into your mind about where do you think SIF will eventually play a role in your client's portfolio?
No, so
And has it made you decide कि मेरे को अभी आज तक पैसा क्यों नहीं डाला, मेरे को आज ही डालना चाहिए? ऐसा किया है क्या?
नहीं, ऐसा फाइनेंस में कभी नहीं होता है कि आज ही डालना है.
हमारे स्पीकर्स इतने अच्छे थे, मेरे को लगा कि they would have done such a fantastic job. Anyway.
नहीं, बिल्कुल. I heard Sandeep, Radhika and all of this. See, definitely SIF is a mutual fund plus product, no doubt about that, because it has an advantage of that short also. Markets can move either ways, right? So, और राधिका ने एक बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट बताया कि SIF का दो ही रोल है, ये तो रिस्क कम करना या उसी रिस्क पे रिटर्न बढ़ाना. अगर ये SIF डेमोन्स्ट्रेट कर सकते हैं ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, 1 month 2 month इज अ वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड, 6 महीने, बट इफ ओवर अ 1-2 year पीरियड, इफ यू कैन कंपेयर विद द रेस्पेक्टिव स्ट्रैटेजीज इन म्यूचुअल फंड, अगर SIF लॉन्ग शॉर्ट इक्विटी ने फ्लेक्सी कैप को बीट किया है over a 1-2-3 year rolling return basis, then absolutely it's a great product. With the same returns, I'm giving lesser risk, or with the same risk, I'm giving higher returns. I would certainly like to go, but I need to see that proof of pudding.
Okay, how long?
At least 1 साल मेरा खुद का पैसा डालूंगा, उसके बाद we'll have some conviction.
Okay. Vishrant, coming to you. When you talk to your clients, you say you have a lot of clients who are your age. I'm assuming that they don't like long-winded conversations. They want the story to be given to them crisp and short. What do you say to them about SIFs when you're talking to them about it?
So primarily,
What is the script, if I may ask?
Gajendra said. So there is a good opportunity for SIFs to address the gap of delivering better risk-adjusted returns. Right, so that's very, very different from saying better returns. So we need to be extremely careful about that. Potentially, where SIFs can make a big impact, my personal opinion is that the hybrid plus space, right, that exists today is something that a lot of high-income earners, given their tax brackets they are in, do not really have great tax-friendly products. So arbitrage is one option that exists, and after indexation has been removed, debt is no longer attractive. FD has become a no-go for many of them. But can SIF, especially the hybrid SIFs, play a role in maybe delivering like a 7 to 7.5% post-tax returns, given that they will come under LTCG post 1 year? That is something which will be exciting to see, because a large part of the customer base, as aggressive investors they might be, they will always have 3-year, 4-year, 5-year goals, and there is a conversation about where to allocate these. For a 3-year, 4-year goal, they cannot go aggressively in equities. But at the same time, the other options are not, even if they are good for the customer, the excitement around those options is not there for youngsters to adopt. So hybrid plus is a potential gap that SIFs can fill. And that's one of the conversations we keep having with customers to explore.
But is it a core allotment? Is it a satellite allotment? Where do you see this playing a role in your clients' portfolios?
So I believe any new product, so there are two strategies, right? So one strategy is, this does not play a role in customers' portfolio at all. I could wait and observe for maybe a couple of years and then get the understanding and conviction, and then it could become a core portfolio. The other school of thought is, let me experiment with it as a part of a satellite portfolio, and then work along with the customer to see how their experience is, how do they reciprocate, and eventually they become part of core. So I feel SIF is definitely a part of satellite portfolio for now. It will take at least a couple of years of track record to play out for the risk-adjusted returns and the claims to be substantiated with data before anyone should aggressively recommend it to be a part of the core portfolio.
Okay, so a little bit of a complex sell, if I can say that. So, Komal, coming to you at Jio, how do you plan to educate both advisors and distributors, and how to hold these conversations in a little more elegant, little more persuasive way?
Sure. I would again take a step back and then first say, let me acknowledge one role of the mutual fund distributors and advisors, which can never be replaced by a product. They bring a long-standing relationship with the client, and B, a trust and credibility that they enjoy with the client. These things are not replaced by anything that we can build. Having said that, there are three realities that we are facing, and I think everyone in this room is facing. First, there is an increased awareness in people. Your customer is getting aware by the day, and possibly the information arbitrage is going low by the day. Howsoever, there is knowledge arbitrage is not going down. The transition from information to knowledge is where you all play a very massive role. But reality is that people are believing that they know a lot more now, and they are far more confident to take their own decisions. Secondly, the governance is increasing by the day. Regulatory governance is increasing by the day. And third, that people's access to AI is increasing. So these days, you would not be surprised that whenever you advise your customer, they would not shy away from putting it in a chat GPT or a Claude and say, why don't you create a portfolio for me? That's also a reality. So if I acknowledge all these three realities, Geo BlackRock is saying that, look, I want to be your partner. I want to partner with you in a big way and a very serious way, where I would bring 2 to 3 value propositions which would help you grow your business. The first is that we want to build a lot of content repositories. And there we would lean on our local experts. Plus, we want to there leverage our global partner BlackRock, who has years and years of experience of running these strategies and creating that content, which is tested for years. So once when that content is created and localized content is created, we would want to partner with people like yourself, Prem, and this event is a forum to express that we would want to use platforms like this to then communicate that content in the language which is easily digestible and it's bite-sized. And third, this would have to be continued, because then from within these forums, we would find brand ambassadors like Gajendra, like many more, who would want to then say that, okay, let's co-create this. It is one of our major focus to use, these forums, people, and then transform and use AI-led tools to make them so scalable. Like, we have invested in platforms that can convert all this content that we are building with all these partners into multiple languages and can be scaled into various bite-sized content. So we have a huge investment that we are going to make in this.
Okay, Gajendra, I've just come to know that your uncle in Jorat, right, has come to know that you're attending Cafe Mutual SIF Summit. And he says, ये SIF है क्या? How would you explain it to your 65-year-old uncle?
बहुत सिंपल है. जैसे मैंने बताया, ये एक ही वर्ड में म्यूचुअल फंड प्लस प्रोडक्ट है. म्यूचुअल फंड में सिर्फ आप लॉन्ग जा सकते हो, यहाँ पे आप शॉर्ट भी कर सकते हो. अगर आपको कोई स्टॉक के सेक्टर पे कन्विक्शन नहीं है एंड यू स्टिल वांट टू मेक मनी, आप उसको 25% शॉर्ट कर सकते हो. दैट इज़ द बिगेस्ट डिफरेंशिएशन कंपेयर टू प्योर म्यूचुअल फंड प्रोडक्ट. बाकी सब सेम है, टैक्सेशन सेम है, एवरीथिंग एल्स इज द सेम. शॉर्टिंग इज़ द बिगेस्ट advantage that you have in SIF product.
Vishant, the same question to you. Your favorite uncle in Chennai wants to know from you, but he doesn't understand the intricacies of financial jargon. He wants you to tell him in a couple of sentences, what were you doing at Cafe Mutual SIF Summit, and how do you explain SIF to him?
So without a jargon, financial jargon will make it very difficult to explain. I think it will be a 10-15 minute answer I might have to give. So assuming he has a bit of financial understanding, one way to express what SIFs are could be a mutual fund plus a hedge fund, right? So and essentially people always have that worry when it comes to equity markets, that what is going to happen when the markets fall, because inevitably my portfolio also will have to fall along with the market. So this is, I think, the way it can be positioned is, hey, now you have a product which is not just long but also short, which means that you can potentially take advantage even when market falls. And a lot of people these days know that hedge funds are a very big phenomenon globally, and this is a great entry point for Indians to also participate in hedge fund with a 10 lakh ticket size.
मैं आपको एक छोटा, और आपने बोला 65-year-old अंकल जोराट, ये भाषा फिर भी कॉम्प्लिकेट हो जाएगी. इमेजिन आप गाड़ी चला रहे हो, खाली फॉरवर्ड गियर है, राइट, और आपको पीछे जाना है. कैसे करोगे आप? घूम के आना पड़ेगा. बट अगर उसी गाड़ी में रिवर्स गियर भी है, तो यू डोंट हैव टू गेट आउट, यू कैन जस्ट पुट रिवर्स गियर एंड पीछे जा सकते हो. दैट इज एग्जैक्टली SIFs.
So beyond the SIFs, what are the other gaps that BlackRock has identified in the market, and how do you plan to address them?
Sure.
This is your first opportunity to talk to this audience. So
No,
I
Prem,
think, I'm curious to know
yes.
that.
First of all, thank you. This is possibly the most important question of this afternoon for Geo BlackRock to answer. Because when we launched in July our cash funds, and we launched in September our first active equity funds, the biggest question that we had to answer on the street was, why direct only? Why not regular plans? And I would say the basis, और आज मैं इस स्टेज से आपको सबसे क्लियर आंसर दे रही हूँ, क्योंकि बहुत कुछ इसके बारे में कहा है, लिखा है. But today I'm using this opportunity through your platform, Prem, to answer that question in how the firm had taken that decision. At Geo BlackRock, our starting point was to sweat the digital ecosystem of Geo. एंड यू ऑल अंडरस्टैंड दैट जब मेरा पार्टनर जियो होगा तो दस्तूर है कि पहला मेरे को डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम के थ्रू आई हैव एक्सेस टू 50 करोड़ हाउस होल्ड्स इन दिस कंट्री. शुड आई build a digital ecosystem to reach there? The answer to that is yes. But it was a very clear roadmap that we had written down on day one. It was a question of when and not if. When would we launch regular plans? And we thought that SIF is a right platform because the ticket size is high, needs far more hand-holding, category education बहुत कम है. The client needs far more intervention to understand the product, and we did not want a product that goes out half understood, not fully understood in the hands of a customer. So we thought that this is an opportune time, but it does not mean that from here our efforts would be only structured towards SIF. We would launch regular plans in all our existing and forthcoming mutual funds also. And in addition to that, our value proposition for the distribution is that it's not just SIF and mutual funds. Should I come to you with something that helps you grow your business incrementally? And for that, we would have a product strategy and we would have a content strategy. My product strategy would say, once when our mutual funds and SIFs are launched, our next set of very strong proposition for all of you would be our Gift City subsidiary, which we are launching. That, again, I would bring there that today, every kid, like whenever I go out eating or whenever I go and sit in my social circle, even younger kids now going abroad and studying, the exposure to global markets has become very high. So people are talking, how can buy an NVIDIA stock and an Anthropic stock? मैं कैसे खरीदूँ ये सब? तो ग्लोबल मार्केट्स का जो इतना अवेयरनेस हो गया है, लेकिन एक्सेस नहीं है, पता नहीं है कहाँ से खरीदना है, कौन सा फंड खरीदना है, किस टाइम खरीदना है. तो अगर मैं उस एक्सेस के साथ एडवाइजरी भी बिल्ड कर दूँ और बोलूँ कि आई हैव अ पार्टनर जिसका 130 देशों में एक्सपर्टीज है ऑफ रनिंग फंड्स, and I bring that access to India through this joint venture, that is another proposition I want to build for the distributor. So the global allocation through Gift City is after SIF another thing. And then of course what globally BlackRock is known for is ETFs. तो ये हमारा रोड मैप है कि हम ETFs, Gift City, SIF, म्यूचुअल फंड्स, थ्रू ऑल दिस बुके ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, आज जब हमें लगता है कि हम रेडी हैं डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के सामने बैठने के लिए, वी आर लॉन्चिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन वन गो. आवर इनहेरेंट बिलीफ इज that a customer should not come and treat a distributor like a departmental store where he says, give me the best fund. We want that they should come and ask you, क्या मेरी जर्नी सही चल रही है और इस जर्नी में मुझे क्या क्या चाहिए, वो सब आप मुझे प्रोवाइड कर सकते हो. And we feel very confident that at Jio BlackRock, now we are at a stage where we can come to you and say that, look, we are your good partner.
Okay, interesting, because just 2 weeks back, we had a conference called Beyond Borders, which was about outbound investing, which was about Gift City, which was about global ETFs. So that very interesting.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll work on that in future. Vishrant, what are when you talk to these clients about SIF, what were the 2-3 objections or terms that they kept throwing back at you? Was it complexity? Were they scared it give suboptimal returns? What was it that they were telling you?
So complexity is definitely amongst the first set of things that need to be addressed, because many of the customers do not understand the derivative strategies in detail, right? So and the thing with younger customers is younger customers do not want to learn from advice. They want to learn from experience, right? So they could be hurtling towards a brick wall. If you tell them there is a brick wall, they'll be like, I might as well hit the brick wall, get hurt, and then now the second brick wall I'll not hit. So that is, I think, the same thing applies when it comes to derivatives here also, because they know that, okay, derivatives is something fancy, and they do know that a lot of people who dabble in derivatives directly might not be making money, but they might be like, let me also try and lose some money, and if I lose, then I'll not try the next time. So a lot of conversations are about derivatives is not just futures and options, but what kind of strategies are deployed, and they, it takes immense amount of time to explain what is maybe a covered call, what are the long short strategies, many do not even know how can equities be shorted, right? So that takes up quite a lot of the time during the conversation, and naturally extending that to any other new product that comes in. Okay, if these are the ways in which an SIF is going to be managed. So what should be the allocation in portfolio? So many of the conservative investors or investors who are not yet fairly looking to reach their financial goals, who are not on track to reach their financial goals, we do not recommend at all. But there are a lot of customers who are already well ahead. They know that they will reach all their goals. For those set of customers, what should be the allocation? And should you maybe try it now, or should it be a hybrid plus? Should it be an equity SIF product? So a lot of conversations happen there as well. And eventually the track record is always one question. So at what point, if I start experimenting, should I either consider that this has not worked and it's no longer belongs to my satellite portfolio, or hey, this seems to be working really well. Now can I start allocating more of my core portfolio around it? So how is that point decided? So that's again a question that comes up quite often.
Okay. And your rollout to your partners, how many partners do you have, Vishrant?
We have about, empanelments is about like 20,000 plus.
Okay.
The active partners with an AUM will be close to 7,000.
Okay.
Out of 8,000 odd crores of AUM, we have about 65, 70 crores in SIF.
How seriously have you talked about SIFs with them?
A very similar pattern there as well. So the adoption amongst partners who are less than 30, 35 years of age has been much higher than partners who have been in the industry for quite some time. Because I am a strong believer that a mutual fund distributor is best positioned to service a customer in and around his generation. So it's very difficult for a 55-year-old distributor to maybe advise a 25-year-old customer, is my view. It's not impossible, but difficult. So the younger distributors have shown good amount of interest in understanding this product deeply and taking it to the customers also who are quite young. That's the trend we have seen on assets.
Okay. Gajendra, you're a very thoughtful kind of a person. I'm sure you would have been reflecting on whatever is being said today. As people share their insights, what's happening in your mind? What are the kind of clients you think you will be approaching first? Which of your clients do you think will be ready for SIFs first? I'm sure these thoughts would have crossed your mind today.
No, so see, it's not a very different product, Prem. It has just some more advantage to it, right? We have to see how the industry uses, because industry is also learning right now, right? So
But these are people you've worked with for many, many years.
correct. So I don't see a challenge that if we recommend and clients don't take it, that challenge is not there.
It's not, but you want to make sure that they take the right.
Of course. So first, like we'll start with our own money, and then we take it to maybe 10% of our clients who understands this, or it's easier for them to see the experience. And then if we get more confidence, then we roll it out at a higher level. So it will take 3-4 years. Let's try and understand. Aaj bhi mutual fund after 50 years, we are only 6% penetration, 7%, right? So it's not that ki kal ke kal karna hai. We have long way to go. Even regulations will evolve around this. SEBI will also see that what more tweaks can be done. So in next 2-3 years, you understand it well and then take it to client, because we don't want to have a negative experience. We saw debt funds mein jo hua 6 years back. It can really take future years away if you create a wrong experience for your client. So, and finance is one area where generally complexity has never helped, right? Simplicity is better, and Charlie Munger always used to say, take a simple idea and take it seriously. So for us, mutual funds for next 10, 20, 30 years will remain that simple idea. You can actually scale it up here. And maybe SIF or PMS, AIF can be 10% around that.
I'm interested in knowing of the total book of business that you have, what percentage is non-mutual funds?
I would say out of 3,500 crores is PMS.
That's it.
That's it.
So less than 3% if I can calculate. Okay. Vishrant, I want to know what are the ideas that worked with your clients. What is it that they accepted readily in this thing? What is the script that you are trying to fine-tune and give to your partners? Say, boss, this is the script, this is the way things flow, this is what's going to work. This is what's going to convert them.
So for us, the hybrid plus category of SIFs, right, is something that seems to have been seeing good amount of adoption. So out of the 65 odd crores, I think is almost like 55 plus is in the hybrid category. And the positioning of that is also much easier because a lot of customers, especially in metro cities, the customers who have short-term goals are getting very wary of the post-tax returns they get from a lot of other instruments. And the positioning has also not been, hey, look, there is this new product that can perform better and deliver better risk-adjusted returns, why not move the entire, short-term goals, a 4-year goal money there? So say someone has 1 crore in investments and that's demarcated for a 3 to 5 year goal, and the customer is very keen on, is from that early adopter category, right? So those type of customers who will not just say, I don't want to say no, take no for an answer, just tell me about it. So those set of customers, if they have more than a crore, being able to advise, hey, why don't you consider 10 lakh? And you experience it, and we will also continue learning along with you. We'll keep updating you about the knowledge. And if it looks like over a period of time, it is delivering much better returns than like an arbitrage or maybe an FD, and you're able to stomach the volatility too. So then you could consider increasing the percentage of this instrument in your core portfolio. So these conversations so far has worked. We have not yet positioned as an organization the equity-oriented SIFs yet. So those inflows have been very minimal. I potentially see hybrid has a better opportunity from our context.
Yeah, even I agree with Vishant. Hybrid as a category can be a good starter for a lot of MFDs out here, because a lot of MFDs are now not selling debt products, and arbitrage has a limitation in terms of return. So maybe the only challenge is, Radhika mentioned there are 5 categories, 5 risk bands within hybrid also. So as MFDs, you need to understand very well which product fits your client's risk profile. So if you can master that, and there is a very easy way to build AUM there. A lot of HNIs clients having 1, 2, 3 crore want to put in 12-month, 18-month product, and this can be good beginning here.
Okay. Now that you begin your journey with the regular plan, you're starting out with SIF, and what are your future plans on involving regular plans in all your products?
No, as I said, from your platform and this day today, we have opened our empanelments.
Okay, great.
This is our first day when Geo BlackRock has started to take.
Did you have any? Yes, you had.
In
do
fact,
we have any numbers?
No, we don't have the numbers. You are now actually reviewing us on the stage. But yes, this is the answer that we are chasing in the next few days. The plan from here, Prem, is that when our empanelment has started today for individuals, non-individuals, fortunately for individuals, it's a very seamless online journey, and few clicks and you can empanel with us. The request from this stage is very clear. Feel free now to empanel with us. It's our urge that, from here, build distribution with us, build a distribution which is future ready, build a distribution with 2 brands that enjoy trust and credibility and have a lot of global expertise. We have very serious plans about not just launching products, but partnering with you in terms of co-creating strategies, in terms of partnering by bringing a lot of global best practices of practice management, which means that how to value your business, how to increase your client share. There's a lot of training and content. And the third thing that we would want to bring as a unique proposition to this market would be the access of BlackRock experts. Whenever you want us to speak to your clients in forums of one-to-many, smaller cohorts, we are very happy to invite people who have global perspective, bring them to India and make them speak to yourself or to your clients. This journey has started today, but I believe that when we sit in this forum few months down the line, Prem, we would have far more friends on that side.
Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, now the money that you talked about, 3 to 5 years, this thing, what would it have otherwise gone to if there had been no SIFs?
So 3 to 5 years, we largely see the funds being parked in hybrid categories for now. And for conservative investors, the equity exposure needs to be as minimal as possible. So even in some cases, arbitrage and equity savings is a category that has that's positioned for this segment, but at least in our scheme of things has not picked up because there's a lot of complexities around how do you take it out. So most of it we see is in hybrid, conservative hybrid, or arbitrage in certain cases. That's how it has been for us.
Okay. So finally, Vishant, I wanted to ask you, what is it that has worked for your clients and what is it that hasn't worked for your clients when you're talking about SIFs?
So what hasn't worked is, so again, apart from the track record and other complexity, one thing which we are being little wary of, which we have also informed all distributors and customers as much as possible. So typically when new products are introduced, there are always chances that some over-enthusiastic fund manager somewhere takes a call and that ends up causing a major accident for the category itself. So thankfully for SIF, the usual trend that we see is products start out unregulated, major accident happens, regulator intervenes, puts in frameworks, and then the chances of accidents reduce. So SIF is already well ahead because there's fair amount of regulation. But one thing that can completely derail the SIF is not just one particular AMC or any particular scheme, but just one instance of an accident that and which can happen in derivatives. It could be because of liquidity issues within the scheme, or it could be some bets that have gone completely haywire due to global scenarios. If that happens, then the entire acceleration of SIF as a product and the industry will reduce, is one belief. So that's a question that a lot of customers also ask sometimes. Okay, but don't most of the people in derivatives always lose money? So is there something that I will have to be prepared for? But as I said, the younger investors are risk takers. So despite being given the notice that, hey, this could potentially happen, it's all right. As long as there's a small...
They're willing to look at that.
So I don't mind experimenting is a thought that some of the investors come with.
Okay. Now, Gajendra, how far are you from your Rolls Royce? Kab aa rahi hai? Do people know about Gajendra Rolls Royce? How many people know about it? Okay, great.
So
So tell them about your Rolls Royce. And
yeah, so a week back we just got a 1/8 scale model of Rolls Royce from UK.
Oh, you have got
No, that's not the real car.
Okay.
It's a 1/8 scale actually.
Okay, sorry. Huh.
So earlier we had a 1/18 scale, now it's a 1/8 scale. That just came a week back from UK, from the factory. The real Rolls Royce is still 4.5 years away. The problem is not the funding, the problem is the parking. so, so we need to find a building in Nariman Point which can house that. I promised before 50th birthday, so we are on track. Prem.
Fantastic. Do you think SIFs can get you the next Rolls Royce?
Frankly, Prem, we have never been a believer that products is, I mean, for MFDs or advisors, products is just one way, right? It's your advice that will get closer to you to Rolls Royce. So you have to be very sure about your advice, the quality that you make. And that's why everything that you do for your client, you have to be doubly sure that are you doing the right way. So there's no need to rush, right? As I believe. Yes, it's a great product. I'm no way doubting that. But you need to just see some more kind of proof out there, and then you take it out. And the best way, through this, your platform, I would like to say to all my MFD friends and partners, first, have skin in the game. First, buy it for yourself, for your family, then take it out to clients. That's the right way to do.
Okay. But वो डर नहीं लगता अपनी पोर्टफोलियो सबको दिखाते रहते हो?
नहीं, इसमें डर क्या है? जब आप जो लोगों को आप वो रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खाते हो, माटुंगा में, इट सेज द ओनर ईट्स हियर.
अपनी नेटवर्थ अलग है, रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खाना तो वो अलग है. वो तो सब लोग अपना इंस्टाग्राम पे लगा के भेजते हैं कि आज मैंने ये खाया, फंडू खाया, मैंने ये खाया, जो भी है. बट अपनी
so I've always believed,
Gajendra is very public with his net worth, about the investments that he's made, how they've done. So
see, the biggest problem with our industry is lack of trust, actually. Opaque. It's very opaque worldwide, not just India. And today, even after 60 years, I'm saying 6%. The product is beautiful. You have worked for 30, 40 years. Track record is excellent. But investors have not made the same returns. So here is an idiot who is out there and saying all my 100% money is in mutual funds, or maybe PMS and SI, whatever. All these are managed vehicles. I don't have single rupee in direct stocks, right? And again, it's an irony in our country where large number of you have more demat account holders than unit holders, where they don't understand risk. So my idea is, I tell my clients, either we swim together or sink together. In COVID, my 10-year returns were negative. So when you take this out in a very open way, then you don't have to convince anybody of anything. That's the biggest advantage, proof you have.
No, but Gajendra, it really requires a lot of courage. And let's give a big round of applause. Let's applaud Gajendra for having this courage. And, the saying that I eat at my own restaurant, it's probably goes much beyond that. Because you're telling whatever you've achieved in life is here on this sheet of paper, and you're sharing it with people. That takes a lot of this thing.
Tomorrow, if I buy SIF, if I like, then I don't have to do any convincing. The first question that you ask, how do you convince? I have to just show it that I have done it for myself. Then they will easily go ahead with that.
And how does your team respond to such things? Do they give out similar messages?
Exactly. I tell my team that you have to build your own story. You just can't sell clients that Gajendra has done it, so you do it. And will ask the next question, what you have done. So you build your own story. So if you have 50 people in the team, 50 people should have their own stories. The amount might be small. But are you investing in the same product or not?
Okay. So, Vishrant, so how do you keep your team motivated? How do you keep your associates motivated in this environment when things are getting a little more complex? The going hasn't been so good, and there is a lot of pressure on profitability and so on. How are you motivating your team?
Sure, Prem. So, profitability, thankfully, has not been too much of a challenge. We were profitable until very recently, where we have made some large investments. That we are very fortunate to have Mr. Nitin Kamath. So, he still continues to own 10% of Asset Plus. So, I think it's the investment is.
I need his number.
Huh? But
I need his number.
But as you said, there are a lot of changes happening in the industry. So, our view is that despite all of these changes, right? So, and these so many changes have happened in the past as well. The mutual fund distribution ecosystem will continue to thrive and improve. But what I see very clearly is that are the mutual fund distributors themselves learning and equipping themselves to be able to cater to the different levels of audience levels that are coming in. So what we generally do is there are a lot of success stories. I think we are also very lucky to have people like Mr. Gajendra. We tell them that, hey, look, it's his portfolio. Look at the size of this. So which means MF distribution does have a huge, potential both from an earning perspective and also there's a lot of other social angles to it. What I do see will happen is the MFDs who exist as on today, the role that they play for their customer, maybe the products that they recommend, the services they offer will have to be extremely different from what a successful MFD will look like 5 to 7 years back. 5 to 7 years back and how they will look 5 to 7 years in the future. So our MFD is really adapting to this. So as the younger generation has different asks, different needs and wants, our MFD is adapting to them. Our MFD is able to talk their language. Our MFD is able to upskill themselves. So these are where a lot of focus is going on from the organization. And very happy to see that a lot of new MFDs who are coming to the industry are youngsters. So they are ready to think newer things. They are ready to adopt different strategies to grow their business. So definitely the future looks bright.
Okay. Great. Komal, you worked for a very long time on both the mutual fund and life insurance sector. You've dealt with advisors, distributors day in and day out. What's your learning and what would you like to tell this audience today about how Geo is going to help them through your learnings?
I guess in whatever, and I've been very privileged to work in very credible brands, mostly one brand. I always say that no one else ever employed me. I've worked for the longest of my career in ICICI. We've been only taught one thing, and that matches very beautifully with the ethos of Geo BlackRock, that if you continue to work in the interest of the customer, your business would scale up. And that's something which is drilled very much in our head, and we practice it day in, day out. I have my entire team sitting on this front table. These are people who have brought vast experience from various spheres of life and various companies. But something that binds us all together is that every day we are only constantly thinking that how do we work in the interest of the customer, create products, platforms. And that's something that we would want to disseminate once when we enter distribution also. Our only objective would be that how do we continue to focus on scaling up your business, by giving you product strategies that help you go to your client. How do we give you processes and technology that help you engage with your client in a far more structured manner? And how do we take out all the inefficiencies out of your business and help you focus on what your core is, which is sitting in front of a client and adding a lot of value to him? That's a business model that we are building, and that's a business model we would want to invest with them.
Great. So I'm trying to sum up the conversation that we've had today. So SIF conversations need not be complex. They need to be clear. They need to be relevant. They need to be timely. You made the point that, you've started on this journey of engaging with distributors. We are honored that you started from this particular platform, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
In that. Gajendra, thank you for being so honest and sharing your understanding of how financial products need to be sold, how you need to have your own skin in the game before you ask your clients to put their skin in the game. So thanks a lot to this panel. I've really enjoyed talking to all of you. And let's have a big round of applause to this terrific panel.